Wah! I'm a floating head. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. Alright, so the reason why I'm doing it this way is because it is Pokemon number 5. To celebrate black and white. Now, with the 5th gen, it's what are you doing? What are you doing? No. Silliness out of the way. This is Pokemon number 6. Talk about Gen 5. If you lost track of time because this has been a long endeavor, the reason why it's Pokemon number 6 is because the first one had 2 parts. At that time, YouTube didn't allow me to upload more than 10 minutes, so I had to cut it down. So, one thing that made me really excited about this game is it was called Black and White. And I was like, woo! Woohoo! They're finally gonna have a new type, and the type is going to be... Oh, it's not light. They didn't have a new type. Oh. But, one thing that did make this game awesome is that technology finally caught up with Pokemon. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Pokemon finally caught up with technology. Now, for 4 gens, they've had just a picture of the Pokemon. It's just sitting there in one little pose like, eep! And it didn't move. So before, the Pokemon would just stand there. And then you have him use the move Tackle, and he goes... So, yes, I have a Pokemon figure. So, in this game, Pokemon actually moved. Problem, though, they still did not move during the battle. They still went to tackle. But at least while they're idle, they're moving around. But another great improvement is that they didn't have just, like, your viewpoint wasn't just on one little part of the Pokemon. Like, if you had a giant Pokemon, you'd figure there take up majority of the screen. Like, rah! I'm huge! I'm going to stomp on the person and kill them because I'm so huge. No, instead you got people like Muck and Graveler sitting there like they're drowning. Like, eat! Help me! This time, if your Pokemon's bigger than the other one, the camera zoomed out. So you actually saw your Pokemon sitting there like, oh, I'm huge! And the other Pokemon's like, eep, you're huge! That was a very nice addition to the battle system. So, on to the reason why we're here. That is, if you're still here listening to me talking about Pokemon. I promise this is the last one, maybe. So, Steel. Now, here's a problem. They've created so many dual types. Like, you got Steel Fly, and you got Steel Bug. But at the end of the game, a particular Pokemon popped up. Ponyard. Now, I am really big for chess. I really love playing chess. The fact that they've included a chess piece as a Pokemon was really interesting. And with it being called Pawn, I was kind of hoping it would evolve into like the other ones like they did in Digimon. But with just evolving into Bisharp, it's pretty cool. But what made it really awesome is the blades that were coming off of it. Like, what's not cool though, with the 3D Pokedex and the 6th gen being in 3D, they couldn't really do much with the blade. It became flat. But that's one of the problems between drawn and CGI. A lot of the things that you can draw really awesomely in 2D becomes pretty flat and awkward looking in CGI. So, Bisharp is my new favorite steel, which has not changed since 2nd gen. Poor Steelix. So, moving right on. Dragon has been one of those types that has not been that really powerful in my opinion. Granted that, yeah, it's strong against the basic elements like water, fire, electric, grass. But you just wouldn't use those against a dragon. But you would use dragon against dragon, because dragon's good against dragon, and nothing else. So when I strategize with like how much, what moves I can use to maximize my damage, dragon's not high on my list. However, Hexorus changes that, because he was massively powered and he's pure dragon. So which means the only things that are good against him are dragon and ice. So, and this is pre-6th. So, and just the sheer power that came out of Hexorus. He's Haxorus? Alright, for a lot of people probably already did that joke. Okay, moving on. You know, I keep knocking down legendary Pokemon. I am training some hacked legendary Pokemon, like use Chico to catch them. You know, simple as that. But leveling up against, like next to basic forms, of course the legendaries are going to take the advantage. But as my other Pokemon are evolving, they're catching up quickly to the legendaries. But the reason why I mention this is because Ghost has a new favorite of mine. I wouldn't exactly say it's a complete favorite. I still might have Miss Magus as my ultimate favorite ghost, but I don't know. Anyway, Cofagrigus is pretty cool. Cofagrigus. It's a freaking coffin that's been possessed. So, he's pretty cool. I like him. Now, fire. At this point, I kind of want to point out that majority of these Pokemon in 5th gen that I like happen to be dark or ghost. So yeah, my favorite fire now happens to be Chandelure. He's a freaking chandelier that shoots fire. And what makes him more awesome is that he's a ghost. They're playing off of that possessed lantern mythology from Japan. Well, of course, from Pokemon is from Japan. But still, they're having possessed things now, and Pokemon's taking quite a dark turn. They need to balance it with light, not fairy. Light! So, that's my fire. Favorite ground happens to be dark as well, but it's Crocodile. I'm sorry, making a crocodile, giving it a dark type, and making it a crook. Should have made it look like Richard Nixon. Look it up. But Crocodile is pretty freaking badass and awesome. Flying also happens to be dark. Mandibuzz. Now, they really missed the opportunity with light on this one. Because you got a pawn that's still dark. And the colors of it is red and black. They're really missing out. Because they could have had a light version of him. Maybe made it like one of the only Pokemon that it's still the same Pokemon, just in the, if you're playing the white version, it's also happens to be Steel Light. And the only changes is that the dark parts of it are white. Or not even make it light type, just make on the light version its dark spots are white. They really missed that. Really missed that mark. It's a chess piece. There's a black side and a white side. They really messed up. And Mandibuzz, it's dark flying. It was on the dark version, on the black version. On the white version, they had Braviary, who happened to be flying normal. Could have been a light version. There's a lot they messed up on. They missed light. This would have been the perfect expansion to introduce light. Why am I obsessing over light? Second gen, they introduced dark and steel. And since then, they've become really dark with their Pokemon. But then, they're missing the other side. I'm all for dark. I like dark. But I'm also for balance. If you're going to have dark, and you're going to have Pokemon like some ghosts and some dark Pokemon that have some really dark Pokedex, like Mischievous. She likes to yank on children's hair and hear them scream. Drifloon actually carries away freaking naughty behaved children. It's like the Pokemon Slenderman. And it's just, they got really dark. So, why not have light Pokemon that combats the dark? And I'm not talking about Fairy. That is not an adequate substitute for light, because they're not really that light. They're more neutral, to be really honest. I mean, there's been a lot of chaotic fairies in folklore, like pixies. Pixies are tricksters, and then Slenderman's apparently a fairy. So it's just they need some light, and they're missing on angels too. I have to throw that out. They could have angel Pokemon. Those would be very popular. And they could have like light ghosts. But what I'm really breaking down is that in my game, Nature Spirits, that I'm about to show some people for, I'm gonna have a complete balance. In fact, I'm going to release a little bit that I'm actually going to be having a chaotic and lawful in it. Like balancing the dark with the light. And then I'm even having a in between. So yeah, I think Pokemon's really missing out. And not just Pokemon. I'm going to go on to some other games like Skylanders is doing it too. They have a death element. Now I know they're trying to balance it out with their life, but their life is actually just nature, like grass. They don't really have anyone wielding any light powers. They have quite a few of the death elements wielding dark powers, like Hex, and even Cinder, with her dark lightning. So, a lot of these games are missing the key component, light, if they're going to have the dark side. So, moving on, I'm done talking about Pokemon. So, it's time that we turn the lights back off. So that concludes our Pokemon. Will I ever do it ever again? I don't know. 6th gen's already been out, so there's that. Though I don't know if I'll do another rundown for that one. I just want to get my thing done. I just want to get my spirits out, so here they are, and please enjoy. And everything is copyrighted. I usually say I own nothing, but this time I own the spirits I'm about to show you. They've been copyrighted. I got my files have been dated, and so has the upload, so you cannot steal it. Also, I did the poor man copyright, so blah there. So anyway, please enjoy and have a good night. Or morning, depending on where you live, or the time you view this. Enjoy.